Jay Sweet, editor-at-large, Pace Magazine. I'm here with the Disco Biscuits on the tour bus.
What's up?
I feel very welcome.
Playing ball.
Tour bus with, I'd like to say, a band that is quite progressive in how you guys are handling the music industry and how you guys are redefining, for your own terms, I guess, redefining what it means to be a successful band in today's musical paradigm. First question I have for you guys is, I guess would be, do you even care about press? I mean, you know, starting off, is it something that you've ever tried to say, hey, that's really important to our growth, to our fans, to our community, or is it not important anymore to you? Well, press in general.
It's like one of those things where you're gonna cut. You know, could you guys close the door and stay on the other side of it?
And yes, that's good. You gave the whole directory. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's like one of those things where, you know, you spend all of your time working, writing music, practicing it, getting on the same page with the other guys, you know, planning the tours, you know, going out on the road, trying to develop fans one at a time over the course of a decade, making albums, you know, making DVDs. You want people to know about it, you know?
We spend our career standing up on a soapbox preaching the gospel of the Disco Biscuits. And, you know, the press definitely helps spread that gospel.
Right. I mean, to me, though, I think the people that spread the gospel the most, and we've talked about this a little earlier, is the community itself. Sure. I mean, the fans, right? We've all, you know, we're big leftist people. We read a lot of things about the industry and where it is and where it's headed. And I love that you guys are continually used as a kind of a beacon of hope out there that if you actually do it the right way, that I think we all come from a belief that organic and slow and steady, one fan at a time, is a philosophy that actually, I mean, you're living proof that it can work. It's not easy, and I think
you'd rather do it 20,000 fans at a time. I mean, but I mean,
that would be easier.
That would be.
It just doesn't exist anymore. Not in our style of music. I mean, it's like the music industry has shifted so far. Fish has had an album out for a couple of weeks, and it's like, albums don't sell.
30,000 units.
30,000 units, right? And
more people have seen them in the last couple of dates than
one show alone probably sold more tickets than album.
It's about selling tickets. It's not, and it doesn't matter to Fish. They can sell 80,000 tickets at a festival, 20,000 tickets a night. It's about selling tickets. It's about invigorating your fans, you know, and I do believe that bands can sell, you know, that you make the right album and it can catch fire. Who's professional now?
Right. No, but it can catch fire. I think that's true.
Now?
I think that's true, but I think that
Hold on.
Get this.
Kevin.
You're on live.
I'm doing an interview here, man. Who calls during an interview?
Management.
Yeah. Red light management's on the phone here, and that's another thing, you know.
Tell him Jay Sweet said hi. And
Jay Sweet says hello, Kevin.
And
Kevin says what's up. Hey, listen, man, we're gonna get back to this interview. I'll call you in a bit. He said I love Jay Sweet. Yeah. He's my best friend. So you know, it's one of those things where like it is the Disco Biscuits model has been put out there as a possible future of the way that the music industry is going. And so,
would you take pride in that?
Are we geniuses, you know, or is it just this is the way that you have to do it if you want to be successful? And being out there for 14 years, we figured out we've tried everything. We tried record labels, we tried shopping to majors, we tried writing singles, we tried, you know, doing an album all on computer. We tried doing it live in the studio. We've tried everything you can do. We've been doing this for a decade and a half.
Yeah, so. It's not our own business model as well. I mean, you know, you take different pieces of what other bands, you know, have been doing to succeed in this climate or whatever, and you borrow things from other bands. You develop things that you've been nurturing yourself, and you know, then you improve on that. You know, know, through discussions like this, you basically figure out how to survive and how to better yourself as an organization.
Well, you and I had an interesting conversation outside the gig here earlier, and it was, I asked you the question, which I'm going to ask now, which is, and you're going to hear it for the first time, so you're going to have to think on your feet, is if you could look back and when you started, day one, if you were that band starting off right now, with the knowledge that you have, what would you tell the younger you if they were starting off right now as a band? Like, look, we've tried everything. We've done this, we've done that. Here's some things that we would say not to do. I mean, that you know, immediately right off that bat, you'd be like, look, we tried this. It didn't work. It may sound great, but it ain't working.
I'll tell you, for me, I would say, I would go to us and say, hey, guys, don't break up every 4 years. There's no point in it. You know what I mean? You're just going to get back together. But is that the smart thing to do? Every time we broke up, we got twice as big. So it's like, maybe I'd be giving myself the wrong advice. You know, it seems to
now I'm really getting
breaking up every 4 years seems to work really well for us. You know, we break up, we come back, the band's twice as big. There's a lot of talk. There's like the story that gets told. Why did they break up? What did they do? What happened? You know, and it's like maybe we've been planning it that way all along.
It was the grand master.
I was actually watching a Kiss documentary yesterday, and Gene Simmons was talking about the dynamics within the band, and what he was saying was that though they infrequently agreed on anything and constantly bickered, is that one of the reasons that they were able to maintain the level of success that they had throughout their career was that there was still a level of communication between all of the members. Right. And I mean, I think we feel that too in our world, you know, when we disagree, and we disagree a lot, most of the times we're able to actually communicate with each other
about what you're disagreeing
about. Not yesterday, but most of the times we're able to actually communicate and express, and sometimes it takes a little while to push through that. But I think that that's the most important things in terms of dynamics.
And was that something you would tell a younger you, saying, hey, look, no matter how bad it gets, no matter how much you loathe the way that person smells, looks, sees, keep communication open, and that is actually one of the bigger goals to a long-term success.
Sure.
I mean, were we just talking about Gene Simmons?
Yes, I think we were, which I think is genius.
That guy is I mean, are we really seriously referencing what Gene Simmons thinks?
Can you disregard that?
35-year career?
You know?
Yeah. No, I mean, I know, but I mean, the guy's pretty out there. He's a pretty crazy guy.
I think he's got very few.
I mean, I think there may be a chance that he's going to challenge me to a debate over me calling him a crazy guy in this interview. You know what I mean? There's a good chance that I'm going to get a call from Gene Simmons, and he's going to say, "Who the fuck are you, Mark Brownstein, to say anything about Gene Simmons? You know, did you just sell out a stadium in Brazil? No, I mean, so maybe Gene Simmons is the genius and whatever.
Right, and we're all just living in his world.
Well, one of the things that we were actually talking about earlier, and this is definitely important for younger bands, especially that go on tour all the time, wanting to spread their music and wanting to gain, fan after fan, is that it's too easy to just put yourself out on the road and continue to play regardless of who you're playing to and just, play your music. You really need to kind of contain it and allow for enough time that you don't burn out by going on the road for 3 months at a time.
Pitfall of the jam band world. I was looking at something on Glide magazine yesterday, and it was the top 10 jam bands that didn't survive the 0-0s. And I was glad that we were not in that list. I mean, we survived, and we've now gotten to 2009, and we had our biggest year by far that we've ever had in a really, really difficult time.
Market, yeah.
Bands are dropping off one by one. They couldn't get them all into the top 10 list. There was another 10 honorable mention bands that, and there's a lot of notable bands that didn't survive the temperature of the market over the last 10 years.
It's either through, burning out because you've just been on the road for way too long and, you get at each other's throats, or you want to go home and you miss your family or your girlfriends or whatever it is. But also, you have to have the delicate balance where you allow yourself the time to write new songs, which is also what brings fans constantly back to your shows.